New York Giants Week 6 reaction. So the Giants lost this one 35-14. The final score does not look too pretty. I understand when you lose by 21 points, it does not look so good. But the Giants were in this game for a long time. You can't just look at the final score and say, well, they got their asses handed to them, because that's not really the truth. I mean, the Giants had some of their offensive weapons in this game. They might have, brought this game down to the wire. I mean, who knows if they could have won this game or not. I think it would have been a lot closer if they had their offensive weapons. So let's get into this more specifically. We'll start on the offensive side of the ball first. So first, let's start with Daniel Jones, who went 15 of 31, 161 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. And let's go over all of his interceptions and what happened exactly. So I believe the first one was his fault. It was a slant throw into Golden Tate, and the slant throw was a little bit behind him. The Patriots corner was able to get a hand on it, tipped the ball in the air, and a Patriots linebacker intercepted it. So if the throw was on target, it probably would have been a first down. So I have to blame Daniel Jones for that play. The second one, he just held the ball too long. He was rolling out to his left. The Patriot defender hit his elbow, and the ball stayed in balance. He was trying to throw it out of bounds, but by that point it was too late. So he probably should have got rid of that ball a little bit earlier than he did, but it is what it is. And the third one was just flat out a rookie mistake, where it looked like it was man defense, and then Stephon Gilmore broke off his man and just, basically just came right in front of Rhett Ellison and took the ball away. So it was a great play by him, and I figured at some point in this game, Bill Belichick's defense was going to disguise something and, somehow take advantage of this rookie quarterback and eventually make a mistake. But on the bright side, he did make some really nice throws in this game. You think back to the Golden Tate one where Tate bobbled it. It was like a 67-yard touchdown or something like that. Just an awesome throw that only Tate can get. There was one with Darius Slayton on a slant route to the left, and he fit it perfectly. It literally tipped off of the cornerback. I think it was Jason McCourty. Tipped off of his fingertips into the chest of Darius Slayton, and there was one over the middle to, I think, Rhett Ellison for like 6 yards, but he fit it right in between two defenders. So there were some really nice throws in this game, so it wasn't all bad for Daniel Jones. I think, some of the interceptions were unfortunate, but a lot of it was just, rookie mistakes and stuff like that. John Hilliman, hopefully this is the last time we have to see him as a starting running back. You guys know I'm not a Hilliman fan. He basically cost them the game in this one with the fumble late in their own territory, so that was a killer. But he went 11 carries, 38 yards, which isn't great, but it wasn't terrible either. Golden Tate had his first big game as a Giant. They needed it too. 6 catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown. Of course, had that big catch in the I don't know if it was first quarter or second quarter, but it doesn't matter. It was like a 67-yard touchdown. Darius Slayton had 3 catches, 32 yards. They tried to hit him deep a couple times, but as I expected, Bill Belichick's defense was not going to let that happen. They did not want Darius Slayton to beat them deep, and that's basically what happened. Rhett Ellison got somewhat involved, 3 catches, 30 yards. He had a catch on the beginning drive of the third quarter where he was like wide open. It seemed like a blown cover, so that was his one big catch of this game. The offensive line wasn't terrible, honestly. I think Daniel Jones was sacked 1 time, and they didn't create too many running lanes, but, it wasn't bad. I would not blame this loss on the offensive line. I think offensively it was the turnovers and not having enough weapons offensively. I think that's what was the downfall for them. I don't really think the offensive line was the downfall for them offensively. And some other notes, there were first downs. The Patriots had 27 first downs compared to the Giants having 10 first downs, which is ridiculous. Third down conversions, the Pats were 6 for 13. The Giants were 2 for 10. That's not good either. In time of possession, the Pats killed us 39 minutes to 20 minutes. So, yeah, hard to win with those kind of statistics, and that's exactly what happened. It's the numbers look lopsided, and the Giants were in this game for a long time. As I said, they had a chance with the ball in the fourth quarter to go down the field and tie it, and I believe that was the same drive with the John Hilliman fumble, so it is what it is. They were in this game, and they played a lot better than I expected them to, but in the end, the Patriots really, they won by 3 touchdowns, but it's not really that bad. When we look at the score, it's not good, but the Giants were in this game for a long time, and I was kind of proud of the way they played offensively with the limited weapons they had. So now let's get into the defense. So this time we'll start with the positives on defense. So there was a big 4th and 1 stop on the first drive for the Patriots. David Mayo, Dalvin Tomlinson making the stop there on Sony Michel out of the I formation. I think Mayo was there to clean up, and Tomlinson tripped him up. So a nice job by those guys to stop him on 4th and 1. It looked like in live action that he got the first down, but the replay showed otherwise. It looked like based on the yellow line on TV, it looked like he got it, but the replay showed otherwise. So Janoris Jenkins' interception on the next drive, Tom Brady was trying to to hit Julian Edelman on a seam route and just made a terrible throw. I don't know if the wind took it or something like that. There was like 25-mile-per-hour winds in this game, so I don't know if that was the issue. But Janoris Jenkins, the ball was to him, made a tough catch over his shoulder, made like a 40-yard return afterwards. But of course, the Giants got called on a ridiculous, unnecessary roughness type penalty for hitting Tom Brady. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that wasn't that great of a call, but of course he gets it because it's Tom Brady and you're not allowed to touch him, so it is what it is. Lorenzo Carter had a forced fumble. We've been waiting for Lorenzo Carter to break out. He had a nice, I think it was a spin move on that one. He got past the left tackle, and then, or Marshall Newhouse it is actually, got past Marshall Newhouse and was able to get a strip sack on Tom Brady, and then Marcus Golden picked up the ball, ran it in, and had a crazy Superman lunge over the goal line to get it in for a touchdown. It was an awesome play by the defense, probably the most exciting play on defense all year, so that was cool to watch. So the negatives: Tom Brady had all day to throw at times. The Giants did sack him 3 times, but there were a lot of plays as well where he was able to stand back in the pocket and just, he had good pocket awareness as he always does, and just maneuvered his way and just, found enough time for his receivers to get downfield. So the pass rush wasn't as great as you would want it to be, but at certain points it was, but it wasn't all that consistent. Grant Haley continues to struggle in coverage. Now, I will say Grant Haley had a nice game tackling. He did make some nice plays in the run game and even tackling some receivers, but there was a play with, I think, Jacoby Myers. There were plays with Julian Edelman where he was just, beaten in coverage again, and of course I'll go over that in the film review video, but it happens too much, and I wish they would give Corey Ballantyne, the man behind him, some reps. I think the man, Sam Beal, comes back at some point as well pretty soon, so they have guys behind him, so I don't know how much longer they'll go with Grant Haley, but it's getting old at this point, how many times he's getting beat in coverage, but I did like his tackling today, so I'll give him that. Some more missed tackles in the secondary. I mean, I saw one with Jabril Peppers. I don't think Janoris Jenkins was that bad with tackling today, but there was a missed tackle. I know it's not the secondary, but Alec Ogletree had a couple. David Mayo had one as well. So, I mean, the tackling wasn't as bad as it was in Minnesota or against Minnesota, but it still wasn't perfect. They need to fix some things up. So, too many receivers running wide open at some points. There was, a couple plays with Edelman at the end where he got wide open. One play with, I don't know the dude's name, number 80, the other white receiver on this team. It's not Danny Amendola. He's not on this team anymore, but it's a white receiver, number 80. I don't know his name, but he was wide open at one point. Their tight end Izzo was open at some points as well. They were just doing check downs to James White for easy completions and stuff like that. So the Giants got lucky. They didn't have to face Josh Gordon for most of this game. He exited very early with an injury, so that benefited them, but Tom Brady had other receivers to go to, and those guys were just running wide open down the field. So some other notes: Stupar on the block punt. So this was a big turning point in this game. I forget what the score was. I think it was 7-7 at the time. They went up 14-7 after this, or maybe not, no. This might have been the first score of the game. Yeah, I think it was actually. I think it was 0-0. This was the first score of the game. The Giants were punting from their own 10. Nate Stupar just gives up way too much pressure, was pushed back way too far. The punt went off of his helmet somehow, and that's what happened. So for some reason, Tay Davis was a healthy scratch, but the Giants wanted to play Nate Stupar for special teams reasons, and then he gets a punt off his helmet and cost the Giants 7 points. So is what it is. I mean, I don't like Nate Stupar. I don't know why he's on this team anymore, but the Giants have some kind of love affair with the guy. They were down 7 with the ball in the fourth quarter, so I think there was 10-11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Giants, they got, I think, a fourth down. They stopped them on defense on a fourth down. They got the ball back. They were on their own 30-yard line. They were down 21-14. They had a chance to come back and tie that game. I wasn't expecting it because they needed a big play on offense and they couldn't find it. The only big play they had in that game was the Golden Tate play, so it was going to be hard to score on offense, and I thought it was a long shot, and obviously it didn't happen, but the Giants were in that game at one point in the fourth quarter. Not many teams could say that when facing the Patriots, especially a team like the Giants with so many injuries. I thought it was pretty impressive. Does a healthy squad win this game? So honestly, if they had Saquon, if they had Ingram, if they had Shepard, even if they had Wayne Gallman, this game would have been a lot closer. And I give the Giants a lot of credit for hanging around in this game for a long time. There's no such thing as moral victories. I get it. I don't think the players want to hear that either. But honestly, as a Giants fan, I was pretty proud of the way they played most of that game. The defense was great for a long time, but eventually, they had a bend don't break mentality. But eventually, at the end, they broke. I mean, they did all they can the first 3 quarters of this game. They did a lot better than I thought they would. I thought James Bettcher had a nice game overall, but, for some reason the Giants offense couldn't get anything going. I shouldn't say for some reason. We know why. I mean, they had no weapons to throw to, but the Giants couldn't get anything going offensively, and the defense eventually, I guess, just got tired, and Tom Brady picked them apart at some point. So it is what it is. So I think the Giants have off for 10 days now. Of course, they don't play Sunday. I believe they face Arizona at home, which is a winnable game in Week 7. So hopefully they get that one. They're now 2-4 on the season, which is what I expected. I think in my schedule prediction video before the season, I had them at 2-4 at this point. I got some of the wins losses wrong, but I did expect them to be 2-4 after this Patriots game. So look, it's not the situation we want to be in, but the Giants have an easier part of their schedule coming up later. So I think there's a chance they might get back to 500. But they'll have to play much better. The defense has to be better. You can't have the missed tackles. They need their offensive weapons back healthy. I would love to see how Daniel Jones looks with a running game because we haven't seen it yet. So I'm excited for that. There's a lot to look forward to with this team. Not expecting to make the playoffs this year, obviously, but hopefully the Giants play like 500 football from here on out and give us some exciting games. That's really all you could hope for. Hopefully these guys stay healthy throughout the season as well. So that'll do it for this video. My Twitter is at Mike_NYY. If you want me to follow you back, let me know. I appreciate you guys watching, and I don't know when. I guess I'll talk to you guys for the film review video. I don't know when that's going to come out, but when it does, I'll make a video for it, and I'll talk to you guys next time.